I mentioned Goethe as a possible way out of the particular dilemma that Richard Brown poses for Bernardo Kastrup. Well, let's recap. What's Brown's dilemma? What is the problem that Richard Brown poses? Well, Brown points out that if the green of a tree is the way mind at large appears to me, then why green? Why not some other quality? Now, from this line of reasoning, from Richard Brown's line of reasoning, there really doesn't seem to be any other answer other than the one Bernardo offers him, which was that it could just as easily have been another quality. It is just green because that's what it is. It is what it is. This Bernardo's answer happens at around 22 minutes in the video, if you want to check it. Okay, so I mentioned Goethe as a possible way out of this dilemma, this problem, or this question that Richard Brown asks. And I wanted to unpack that a little bit further by referring to Rudolf Steiner. Steiner, of course, developed an epistemology that was inspired by Goethe's approach to science. Steiner points out that a question like Richard Brown's, i.e., why green and not something else, such a question is ridiculous. For the why or the what of a particular percept, that is, green, this what or why can only ever point us to a concept about the percept, right? So in asking why green or what is the origin of green, the answer can only ever refer to a conceptual counterpart. But now if we try to find the origin of green in something other than a concept, that is, by looking at wavelengths of electromagnetism or understanding green as, like Bernardo does, as being the result of transpersonal thought, or by looking inside the physical brain apparatus to try and figure out how green is generated, then all we are doing is jumping from one percept to another. We are jumping from the percept of green to the percept of electromagnetism and wavelengths, to the percept of transpersonal thought, or the percept of a brain. We're never getting to an actual answer of green itself. We're just kicking the can down the hill, jumping from percept to percept. Now, if we follow this jumping from percept to percept long enough, we're sure enough going to end up with the percept of our own consciousness, right? And when we do this, lo and behold, we're surprised when we cannot find a natural or logical link between this consciousness, this percept of our consciousness, and a percept of the physical brain. We see a jump between these two, and we experience it as an explanatory gap. We say, oh, there's a hard problem. How does the brain generate consciousness? Meanwhile, all we've done is jumped from one percept to another percept. And now, to save us from this endless chasing our tails of jumping from percept to percept, expecting to find some explanation of the previous percept, Steiner makes the case that a percept is an incomplete reality. So the qualia of green is an incomplete reality. It is missing something which our thinking naturally strives to add to it, that being the corresponding concept. Steiner's insight is that the full reality of a thing is the unity in thought of percept and concept. Reality is not behind this unity. It's not behind this unity in some metaphysical thing in itself, as Kant imagines it to be. So concept and percept, the concept of a colour and the qualia greenness, only appear separated for us, for our individual experience, for our individual subjective consciousness. And they become reunited in the instance of true knowledge or awareness, in German Erkenntnis. So Thus, we really live in reality when we experience the colour green and recognise it as colour. That is reality. That's it. We are in reality already. Welcome. But of course we can easily leave reality by just living in our own thought bubbles, where we just have our own mental pictures in front of us instead of actually experiencing reality. So somebody could look at a colour green and not even experience the colour of green, because instead of experiencing green, they're jumping in their minds to some metaphysical reality of electromagnetic wavelengths or something. They don't believe they're even in reality. They don't believe that the green they're seeing is actually real. Anyway, hope that's interesting. I thought I would just add that on. Thanks for watching. Bye.